All right. Let me share my screen as well. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. So, thank you all so much for showing up today. I know folks are getting off of work and possibly commuting, but if you could turn your cameras on, that would be wonderful. I just like to see everybody's faces that are joining us. So, if you're able to, please turn on your camera. Thank you so much, Tonica. Appreciate that. And Laura, I see your face. Wonderful. Okay, so folks that are hopping in, if you could turn your cameras on, that would be wonderful. But I am so excited to connect with all of you eager career changers. My name is Chelsea, and I'm on the admissions team here at School 16. I've been in sales and marketing for over 10 years now, but most recently, I've been in the tech industry, and I have loved helping folks like yourself find your path in this industry. So before we get started, I just want to play a little game. And since we have a good amount of people here, we're just going to use the raise hand function. So you can just click the reactions in the toolbar at the bottom to raise your hand. But the first question I want to ask is, are you an early bird or a night owl? So if you're an early bird, go ahead and use that raise hand function and raise your hand. Okay, we got some early birds. Love that. Okay, you can go ahead and, oh, we got another. All right, lots of early birds here. Okay, you can drop your hand and or lower your hand. So then what about the night owls? Who is a night owl here? I'm a night owl. So let me raise my hand if I can find it on here. No, Tonica's like, no. Love it. Okay, good. We got some night owls. So thank you for being like me. Okay, you can go ahead and lower your hand. Then the last question that I just want to ask is, where is everybody calling in from? So if you want to drop your state, country, city, wherever, that would be awesome. I'm Denver, Laura. I am as well. Love it. North Carolina, Houston. Okay. Any other? Chicago, Paraguay. Love that. The UK, Georgia. Awesome. California. Perfect. Okay, we got lots of folks here. So thank you so much for playing that little game. I just like to warm us all up. Oops. So I'm just losing my notes here, y'all. Okay. So we're going to cover a lot of information tonight, and I don't expect anybody to memorize everything. As you see, we're recording this event, so I'm going to send this out afterwards. I'm also going to send an email after the event, and I encourage you to reach out if you have any questions and want to hop on the phone and chat through anything that we've discussed tonight. But the majority of you here are folks who are interested in breaking into tech, but just don't have the experience in the tech industry, and that's totally fine. It's easy to be cautious about entering an industry you're not familiar with, but tonight we're going to break it down for you. So let's get to our agenda. First, we're going to cover what the job market looks like currently, and then we'll dive into no-code career paths in sales and customer success, marketing, operations, and product management. We're then going to pause for any questions before we wrap up with how you can get started. However, I encourage you all to drop questions in the chat as I'm talking, and I'll definitely get to those. So I've worked with tons of students over the years who are considering making a career change. And one of the first things they ask me is, did I miss the chance? A lot of students think they either missed the chance to enter the industry and it's oversaturated, or they think we're in a bubble as we hear about layoffs at some high profile companies like Netflix, Facebook, stuff like that. However, that's just not the case. And the numbers here show that. The layoffs that you hear about are very real. However, overall, we're seeing a net job growth in the tech industry across the board. CompTIA just released a report a couple of weeks ago showing that December of 2022 had 17,600 workers added to the industry, making it the 25th straight month of net employment growth in the tech industry. People understandably cling to the big stories when it comes to layoffs, but if you're not part of the industry, you don't realize just how many tech companies exist and how many you probably have never heard of. So, tech doesn't just mean social media and streaming services. There are cloud based companies, ed tech, fintech, fashion tech. Think of every industry and add tech behind it, and you're almost guaranteed to find a small, medium, or large company that exists. We're also starting to see a lot of traction with AI, which is really going to benefit employees as they seek job opportunities in the industry. We also have seen salaries continuing to rise for all jobs in the tech industry, but especially for folks with 3+ years experience, according to Hired.com's 2022 State of Salaries report. This means it's important to start making those moves now as you're considering breaking into the tech industry, so that you have more financial flexibility as you gain more experience. It's also important to remember that all of your academic experience and previous work experience counts, even if it's not directly related to the tech industry. It's really about framing that experience to make sense for the tech job you're applying for. There we go. A lot of people assume that the only jobs that are in tech are software developers or other technical roles. And again, that's not the case. Every company needs a sales team, a marketing department, operations that ultimately serve the growth and development of the companies. So over here, I kind of laid out how the structure of a tech organization can look. And you can see lots of different areas that are not related to having the ability to code. So we're going to focus on those non-technical roles today. Every tech company needs a team that drives business and then retains that business. And in the tech industry, you'll see the sales department broken into two parts: before the deal closes and then after. Job titles such as business or sales development rep, account manager, or account executive, those are the employees who are responsible for bringing business in the door and closing those deals. And once the deal is closed, the sales team is going to hand off those new clients to their customer success team. That team's goal is to make sure that their new client is using the product effectively, help solve any problems, and make sure that they renew their contract every year. Customer success is a little bit different than customer service reps, and it's easy to confuse them. But customer success is all about making sure your client is happy and adding in more sales, as they want to make sure the client renews their business. And they also try to upsell them when new products are added. Job titles that you can find are account coordinator, business development, sales manager, customer success. That's what you kind of want to look for when you're trying to find those jobs. Relationship building, collaboration, strong communication, proactivity, and problem solver are all going to be some of the top skills employers are looking for as well. A sales position is great for entry level positions as well as mid career workers and beyond. These roles are super useful in gaining experience, as you have to learn and become an expert not only of your employer's products, but also you have to research and identify all of that information for your competitors. Both internally and externally, you get to work with lots of different teams and people, which makes this a wonderful role to elevate your networking game and help gain valuable connections at lots of exciting companies. As I mentioned, sales roles are great for entry level folks. So you'll see a pretty wide salary range when it comes to these positions. If you're successful in your role, it's really easy to move up and start earning a higher base pay. What's really nice about sales positions in tech is a lot of them offer a base pay plus commission on top of that, and or bonuses. So quick question for the folks in the audience. Who is interested in sales and customer success roles? You can go ahead and raise your hand or drop in the chat. No sales folks? That's okay. I won't hold it against you. Ah, we got one. Thank you, Tonica. I love that. So very cool. Okay, I'm gonna hop on to, oh my goodness. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna go into digital marketing now. Um, as we all know, social media plays a really big role in our purchasing decisions, and it's easy to assume that because of our own personal social media pages, that we can help a tech company grow its brand, but that's just not the case. Digital marketers aren't just creative and know how to put together an aesthetically pleasing Instagram grid. They also are strong copywriters who love digging into data and analytics. Digital marketing is what consumers see before a salesperson even calls them on the phone. These teams are responsible for brand awareness and really driving leads to the sales team. They do this through social media and email marketing, search engine optimization, collaborating with developers to build user-friendly websites, and so much more. You can see different job titles that you can look for as you're looking for these roles, but things like content marketer, product marketer, campaign manager, marketing assistant, those are great places to start. Writing and editing and the ability to make data-driven decisions are going to be top skills that employers look for in marketers. They also want somebody who is able to multitask, is creative, adaptable, and a strategic thinker to be part of their team. Marketing roles can be pretty competitive, but it's a great place to start your career as they also have a lot of entry-level positions available. I always recommend if you don't have experience, I encourage you to reach out to your local coffee shop or small business or local small business and ask to run their social media pages just to get a taste of what an entry-level position can look like. Due to the importance of marketing and brand awareness, you can have a long career in marketing as at large tech companies because they have huge marketing teams with massive budgets. So you can see salaries go all the way up into the six figures for these positions. So another question, who's interested in digital marketing? You can raise your hand or drop in the chat. Kayla, I love that. Anyone else? Evelyn, Gerardo, love it. I started out my career in marketing, so it's been really useful just in everything that I've done. So that's awesome. A strong operations team is really necessary for every organization to survive, and tech companies have dozens of projects happening all the time, and they need to rely on project managers and operation coordinators to ensure those projects are completed on time and successfully. Projects is a really broad term and can mean a number of things from internal to external work, supporting multiple departments, or working directly with the CEO. Regardless of the project, teams need to be organized and able to wear multiple hats. Your ops team is typically behind the scenes, making sure everything is running smoothly in the organization. Project manager, operations manager, or coordinator or assistant are roles that you or are job titles that you can search for. Some transferable skills are going to be organization, time management, and the ability to collaborate with others. They also need to be able to prioritize multiple projects and have strong communication skills. So if you get excited about creating processes and making sure they're efficient, this could be a really great place for you to start your career. Similar to sales and marketing roles, operations is also great for those entry-level positions, and there is a ton of room for growth. Project managers can work on projects with a budget of $5,000 all the way up to seven figures, which means you need a wide range of talent on your ops team. So that's why you see wide salary ranges for these types of positions. So I'm going to ask again, raise your hand if you're interested in project management. I feel like this is always the role. Gerardo, again, I love it. This is typically one of our largest concentrations. Lots of people, there's so many transferable skills with project management roles. So typically this is where we see most people excited about, but no worries that not this group. So Tonica, again, I love it. Okay, last but not least, we have product management. Product development teams are responsible for understanding customer needs, creating something new, and then bringing it to market. PMs are responsible for entire business lines or building significant new features to existing products. So think about when Instagram first came out to what it is now. Product teams worked with software developers to build out Instagram stories, reels, and all of those new features. Besides choosing what to build, they communicate the benefits and measure the performance of the product, which is a crucial duty within the company. So after Instagram stories was built out, PMs had to dig into the data to make sure people were using the feature. And if not, they need to figure out why. So similar to project manager, they're collaborating with sales team, marketing departments, developer teams, as well as the leadership teams. These positions are incredibly important to every tech company. Therefore, we typically see people with several years of experience land a role like this. For folks who are interested in this, but may not have the work experience, we encourage you to start in project management or sales roles and work your way up, as those are great places to start. Product manager, associate product manager, product operations manager, or product marketing manager are all different job titles that you can search for when you're trying to find these positions. Top skills are going to be problem solver, communication, and analytical thinker, as well as being strategic with with the decisions that they make. Product manager salaries are often some of the highest in tech because of the autonomy level and the role, as well as the level of experience required. So that's why you're going to see these salary expectations much higher than some of the ones that I showed you before. Who is interested in product management? Even if you don't have the experience just yet, and that's like your future goal. Okay, Evelyn, I love that. Faith, very cool. Awesome. Okay, y'all, I ran through all of those non-technical positions. So curious if any of you guys have questions off the bat. Thank you, Sergey, for hopping in. I missed that question. Definitely check the chat, as Kayla asked a really good question and Sergey gave a nice answer to it. But any other questions? Or does anybody want to share kind of the jobs that they are interested in getting into in tech? Okay, we'll keep it moving then. So we've covered all of these no-code career paths in tech, but how do you get started? And at School 16, we've worked with hundreds of career changers who are eager to level up in their career and find a role that challenges them, but also pays them their worth, has strong benefits, and has upward mobility. So through our 16-week program, we help students break into tech, and we do that through skill building, career support, networking, mentorship support, and project-based learning. The first 8 weeks of our program is what we call our foundations course, as it's a really great opportunity for students to learn more about the tech industry, what are the jobs that exist, and how do they function together. So you're going to dive even deeper into sales and customer success, digital marketing, operations, and product management. The next 8 weeks is where you're going to pick one of those concentrations and really deepen your learning and work on a project for the remaining 8 weeks. As I mentioned, professional development is a huge part of our program. So not only will you be learning applicable skills that make you job ready, but you're also going to get one-on-one support with career coaches and mentors who currently work in tech to help you on your personal employment journey. So they offer workshops around what are the best practices for my resume and cover letter? How do I get noticed on LinkedIn? On top of that one-on-one support. So I always encourage folks to really think about what are all of the skills that I bring to any job currently, and then to go and talk with our career coaches and say, how do I frame that to make myself employable in tech? Because just because you were a teacher before doesn't mean that you need to self-select yourself out of a project manager position. You may not have experience in tech, but you have so much experience having strong communication. You have experience managing multiple projects, managing multiple people. If you have worked in the retail industry, you have so much sales experience to bring to the table. So just because you don't have that tech experience doesn't mean that you can't break into tech. And all of that is what our career coaches really try to build on. So they really try to make sure that your resume and cover letter are aligned with those positions that you're applying to. We really pride ourselves on having experts who lead our cohorts as well. And it's great to learn from somebody who is already highly successful in the industry. So you know you're learning directly from the source and have another person to lean on to help you build out your network. Desby is going to be leading our January cohort, and he is the founder of Clinispan Health, which is a software company that helps people of color in underserved communities find access to clinical research. He also does consulting for healthcare and tech companies. And next week, we're going to be hosting a Q&A with him. So if you haven't already, I really recommend that you register for the event so you can learn more about Desby's career and also how he creates an engaging classroom for students. I'll send an email after this with a link to RSVP if you haven't already, but really excited for a January instructor. He's going to be great. And also being the founder of his own company, he's going to have a lot of insight to the tech industry and having that entrepreneurial spirit. So if you are ready for next steps, I highly encourage you to apply to our January cohort. Everyone wants to kick off 2023 with those big moves. So our cohort is filling up pretty quickly. You first are going to head to our website and apply to our program. The application takes 5 to 10 minutes. And within 1 to 2 business days after you submit your application, you'll hear back from somebody on our admissions team, letting you know if you've been invited to an interview. During the 30-minute interview over Zoom with somebody on our admissions team, we want to learn more about your background, what are your professional goals, and want to make sure that we can support you on your journey. We want to make sure that your goals are aligned with what we can help you with. After the interview, within 1 to 2 business days, you'll find out if you've been accepted to the program and then the next steps on enrolling. Our next cohort starts in just a couple of weeks, starts on Monday, January 30th, and classes run 2 nights a week from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern time over Zoom. Our 16-week program's tuition is $5,950, and that's going to be all-encompassing. So you're not going to pay for books, software, or anything like that. All of your career coaching, the workshops, the mentorship, all of that is going to be included in your tuition. We offer really flexible payment plans that range anywhere from 3 months all the way up to 30 months, depending on your credit. And then we also offer financial need-based scholarships. Those scholarships and payment plans are all discussed during the interview. So definitely come prepared to chat about that. I mentioned our cohort is filling up quickly. So I really encourage everyone to apply tonight. And with that said, I'm done with my slides. So I want to open it up to the group to see what questions y'all have. And I'm going to stop sharing because I just like to see folks' faces. Thank you again, Sergey, for helping out in the chat. Sergey is actually our co-founder. He leads some of the classes. So I don't know, Sergey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Chelsea. Great job. Thanks so much for walking us through all of this. Super helpful information, folks. And I just can't reiterate more the examples that Chelsea gave about finding ways to do work on the side, project work, reaching out to local companies to help, even volunteer, honestly, because there's no such thing as I don't have any experience. Will somebody give me a job? Well, you have to prove that you have an ability to get that experience, even if it's for your own side project. So in particular for roles like marketing. But I see Chuka here had a question. I just answered slightly here quickly about opportunities for doctors. And we've seen doctors, teachers, healthcare professionals, retail professionals successfully transition into tech. The kind of roles you pursue really depends. Are you the kind of doctor that was very organized and you really loved running, various processes in your hospital, in your organization. You really love delegating the work and managing that work. You might be good at project management. Or was your favorite part of the job dealing with patients and talking to them and helping them through their issues? You might be better suited for a customer success type of role. So it really depends on what you're interested in and where your strengths lie.
Love it. Thank you so much, Sergey. What other questions, thoughts, concerns do y'all have?
Hello, my name is Kayla. I was interested in learning more about digital marketing and advertising. Currently, I have built a little bit of following on TikTok as well as Instagram, and I've been dabbling with content creation and UGC. And I'm currently trying to build my portfolio as well. So with that little bit, could that go into experience for social media marketing?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, and the fact that you're building out a portfolio is huge. Your own personal brand, definitely depending on the following that you have and the content you're creating, that's really important. Like me, I'm not really big on social media. I've posted pictures of my dog. And so, like, I'm not going to put that in my portfolio. Like, that's just, everybody what they're doing. But if you kind of are trying to really brand yourself as a content creator in a certain industry or I don't know, a certain topic, that definitely is going to be very helpful. You're also going to, I would encourage you to kind of understand those behind the scene metrics. So looking at what is your engagement rate when you post? Are you using any paid advertising when you post? All of that can be included on your resume as well to help you to help get that job. So Kayla, I think you're doing some really good things right now, and definitely keep playing around with that, keep experimenting and building out that portfolio. When you have something go viral, dig deeper into that. What made that post go viral? Why did so many people like it? And get into the nitty gritty, because that's also going to be helpful in your portfolio. Because not only can you share, hey, this video or this picture went viral, but here's why it did. And here's what I did compared to other posts in the past. So I think you're doing good things. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you. And I also have another
Yeah.
question. So with like the would you say like digital marketing track, um what could you possibly give like an overview of what would be covered, or and also will the mentor, would it stay with us after the program ends? Will they help us
Yeah. Good.
try to connect with jobs after the program?
Yeah, great question. So I am making a note, Kayla. I'll send you our digital marketing um, syllabus so you can look at it more fully. But what you're going to cover is you're going to get comfortable with what are the terms that social media marketers are using. What is SEO and why is that important? What kind of what are the different ways that I can use to promote my brand through paid ads? Is it just going to be Facebook? Am I going to look at Google ads? And so getting an understanding of that, you're going to dig deeper into those acronyms like PPC, SEO, all of that jargon, so that you really feel comfortable using that language once you start interviewing for jobs and then once you land the job. An example project that you could work on is like, hey, here's a budget of $5,000. And this is what your company needs to promote. This is the new product. How are you going to spend these ad dollars? Create your timeline, create the different content that you would be posting about. That would be a example project that you could use. Does that part answer that question?
Yes, it does.
Okay, cool. So then when it comes to the mentors, you will have access to anywhere from 5 to 8 mentors throughout the entirety of the program that you can meet with one-on-one. You're not going to be paired with just one, which is really nice because you can connect with one of our mentors who is a digital marketer, but maybe you're interested in project management. So you want to connect with a different mentor who has that title. So you can kind of pick and choose who you want to meet with and how often you meet with them. Once you graduate from the program, the one-to-one career support backs off just a little bit because we put a lot of emphasis on that one-on-one support during the 16 weeks of the program. So we feel really confident that if you take advantage of all of the one-on-ones and workshops with mentors and career coaches, that you should feel really confident once you graduate. However, we are not going to just leave you to the dust once you graduate. You definitely can always reach out to any School 16 staff via email, LinkedIn, Slack. You're also able to connect with the career coaches an additional time after you graduate. And then you're always welcome back to all of the workshops that are available to current students and alumni. So there's a lot of support. And then we really push you to start applying for jobs when you start the program. We don't want you to wait the full 16 weeks to start your job hunt. Start day one and maybe save your favorite top jobs towards the end of the program when you have more of that like confidence and knowledge. But start applying to jobs, do an interview. And if you didn't do well in the interview, come back to our career coaches and say, the interview didn't go well. Help me. I need a mock interview. And they love doing mock interviews for students to help build that confidence once you're in the interview. That's a long answer. Oof, I'm giving long-winded answers tonight. Hopefully that helped, Kayla.
It did. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah. Really great question. So thank you. Sergey, I see you in the chat with all of these questions. Did I miss any? If I did, please just copy and paste it back in the chat and I'll answer it. But I think you got to them all.
Yeah, I believe I got through some of them. I was getting some DMs and some public ones, but we talked about project management, the mentor program, international students. And so looks like we have one from Maureen here.
Yes. Do you work with people who have already worked in tech but want to change roles? Yes, we do. We absolutely help folks who are currently in the tech industry to level up in their current career path. So depending on your experience in the tech industry and what you want to do, some students will still take the full 16-week programs. But again, depending on your resume and where you want to go, you may be eligible to just participate in our advanced learning concentration, which is the second 8 weeks of the program. Since, again, depending on your current work experience, you're probably pretty familiar with how the tech industry works, the different jobs, and you're very targeted on X career path that you want to get into. So you could definitely just sign up and join our digital marketing concentration, product management, project management, or sales and customer success. So definitely an option. And when you apply to the program, you can note that in your application, kind of just saying like, hey, I already work in tech. This is what I do. And then once you get to the interview, we'll just dive deeper into that and see if it makes sense for you to just do the second 8 weeks of the program. Really great question. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, we are 6 minutes over right now, and I want to be mindful of folks' time. So I know folks already bounced, but if you need to hop off the call, please do so. I totally fine. Like I said, I'm going to email y'all tomorrow. I'll send the recording. I'll also send all of my contact information. Thanks, Laura. And so you can reach out to me. But I will go ahead and stay on for another 10 minutes or so if you have questions and want to ask them. I'm also going to stop the recording now.